It is a new month and we are pretty close to Christmas. Good morning. It is THG News Today with Mervyn Hanley for Monday, October 2nd. The news today is powered by Carl & Sons on St. Martin. Let's hear from them. Carl & Sons have been serving the people of St. Martin for over 40 years. And the food and service get better and better. From early morning, customers flock to the bakery for their favorite sandwiches, cakes, pastries, you name it. First thing at mornings and last thing at afternoons, folks rush to Carl & Sons for simply the best. There are two locations, Colbay and on the Pondville. In Colbay, the opening hours are Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. On Saturdays, 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. And on Sundays, 6:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. and 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Opening hours on the Pondville, Monday to Friday, 6:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Saturday and Sunday, 6:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. We also cater for weddings, parties, special events, whatever the occasion. It's Carl & Sons. Our staff, we are always happy to serve you. Call us today, the Colbay location, 721-544-2462. That's 721-544-2462. Or in Phillipsburg, 721-543-1059. That's 721-543-1059. It's Carl & Sons Bakery. We are here to serve you. We begin today with news out of Antigua. St. Mary's South residents will vote in a by-election on October 24th. Prime Minister the Honourable Gaston Brown announced the much-anticipated date during a whistle-stop for his party's caretaker for the constituency, Dwayne George, in Earlings. According to the Antigua News, Brown told a massive crowd of supporters that George is earmarked to serve in the Ministry of Finance but must first win his seat. I am satisfied that he has made significant progress. I have seen several individuals who subsequently wore a blue shirt stepping out in their red, Brown said. He said the by-election is not about Dwayne George, but about the constituents. This is not about individuality. It is about advancement for the community. St. Mary's South has the momentum. Things are happening for you that have never happened before. Why vote for someone who cannot do anything for you? Do not cut your nose to spoil your face. You have the opportunity to make the right choice, Brown admonished. Brown said he will use the next 3 weeks to prove to the people of St. Mary's South that George is the best man fit for the position as parliamentary representative. This by-election must be the single largest upset in the history of Antigua and Barbuda, and it will be, Brown said. Meanwhile, George, once a member of the United Progressive Party UPP, said his best choice was to leave the UPP. He admitted he was born Labour, but became unruly and joined the UPP. He said UPP treated him like a nobody who had no use for him over the years. He remained a committed member. The race is between the Antigua and Barbuda Labour Party Dwayne George, UPP's Kelvin Simon, Nigel Bascus, the leader of the Missing Link Voice of the People's Party, and Andrew Antonio of the Democratic National Alliance, DNA. Now, what triggered the by-election? As Antigua News puts it, Simon won the seat for the constituency in the January 18th election, but he resigned as a parliamentary representative on June 7th. According to law, his resignation triggered a by-election, which must be called within 120 days from the resignation. Simon stated that he stepped down from the position to prevent his constituents from being negatively affected by a prolonged legal battle. The ruling ABLP had filed an election petition questioning Simon's eligibility for office, and he believed that this could lead to a lengthy legal dispute that would be detrimental to the constituents. We will soon find out if Simon made a wise decision. Now, over the weekend, videos circulated of an encounter involving St. Kitts and Nevis' ambassador, Leon Natta-Nelson, and a young citizen in the heart of the capital Bastia, just outside Domino's Pizza. What could have caused the ambassador to get so testy? On Sunday, we received the following statement from the ambassador. It reads like this. Fellow citizens and residents of our beloved nation, I am Ambassador Leon Natta-Nelson. I stand before you today to address an incident that occurred last night at 4th Street, Bastia. I must clarify that as a police investigation is currently underway, I am unable to provide full details on why this incident transpired. However, I feel compelled to share with you that the individual involved is an adult, subjected my 8-year-old son to harm. As a father, my protective instincts kicked in, and I reacted in a manner I now deeply regret. While my intentions were rooted in safeguarding my child, I recognize that I should have approached the situation differently. I love my son dearly, and my natural protective parental instincts took over. I wish to sincerely apologize for my emotional reaction and any harsh words that were spoken. Such a response should never have occurred. I am committed to finding more peaceful and constructive ways to address any future concerns, even those involving my child. It is crucial that we denounce all forms of aggression, whether physical or verbal. Let us prioritize open dialogue, understanding, and peaceful conflict resolution, especially in moments of heightened emotion. As the police investigation unfolds, I ask for your patience and understanding. Additionally, I hope that the individual or individuals responsible for threats against my family and home, as seen in widely circulated videos, will be held accountable for their actions. I trust in the thoroughness of the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force in this matter. In closing, I extend my heartfelt apologies to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis for my regrettable actions. I cherish my son deeply and will always seek to protect him. Yet, I can assure you that I have gleaned a lesson from this experience and strive for a more compassionate and understanding society. We can forge a future where respect, empathy, and peaceful dialogue triumph over confrontation. Thank you for your time and your understanding. Sincerely, Ambassador Leon Natta-Nelson. Now, I am not here to say whether he is right or wrong, but one thing I appreciate from the ambassador is that less than 24 hours, he apologized to the nationals of St. Kitts and Nevis. Unlike a similar situation in Antigua, where the Honorable Quincy Agums Marie got into an encounter with a private citizen, profanity and threats to bury the citizen, there was no swift apology. Anguillians actually had to beg for one. I don't know if it was 2 weeks after, 3 weeks after. I will go back and check. But it cannot take away from the fact that it has been an embarrassing week for foreign affairs in St. Kitts and Nevis. First, Ambassador Neris Dockery and her Facebook rants, then being recalled to the Federation. Now, Ambassador Natta's encounter. We reached out to the police for a statement, but to no avail. But we'll continue to follow any developments on the situation. And finally, in our news this morning, opposition presidential nominee Anette Sanford has finally spoken out vehemently denouncing Attorney General Levi Peters' remarks that refer to her as a drumstick and has labeled these comments as racist, abusive, and discriminatory on both moral and legal grounds. The incident unfolded following the election of Mrs. Sylvanie Burton as Dominica's incoming president. On Wednesday, September 27th, during a parliamentary session, Peter took to the floor to criticize the opposition's choice of Sanford, a former opposition senator, as their nominee for the presidential position. Understanding that we are dealing with, understanding the historic step, understanding the candidacy, a woman, apart from anything else that is contained within that person, understanding that the person is vastly qualified in terms of what the Constitution requires for your position, that the opposition would have at least said we have concerns, but we will support. But no, they choose to put up a drumstick, he said. Mr. Speaker, that is really the height of idiocy, the Attorney General further declared. In response, Sanford, a nurse by profession, expressed her disgust with the level of discourse that is coming out of such an important decision-making process enshrined in our Constitution. I felt lynched for accepting the nomination, under which I have the full right to do so, under the Constitution of Dominica, she added. Throughout her political career, Sanford points out that she's endured political jabs and ridicule, which she viewed as part of the political game. However, she states that Peter's recent comments crossed a dangerous boundary, becoming a brutal assault on her identity, ambition, and agenda. Sanford called for an end to the abuse faced by women parliamentarians and aspiring leaders who represent different political persuasions within the country. She highlighted the administration's apparent strategy of appointing individuals to elected positions without following due process, a tactic that threatened the very pillars of democracy and the Constitution. Sanford called upon the Minister of Gender Affairs to condemn the Attorney General's words and advocate for his resignation. She made it clear that she and her supporters would not rest until Peters had stepped down, paving the way for a new Attorney General who would respect the Constitution and the rights of women. Attorney General Peters, drumstick? Really? Ladies and gentlemen, we've just presented to you THG News Today for Monday, the 2nd of October. Do join me again tomorrow morning, the same time at 6 o'clock for a similar presentation. I am Irvin Hanley and I'm wishing you a great day.